Hey, welcome back to another episode of Tune Quest. Today we're looking at I Thought You Wanted to Dance by Tyler, the Creator. Shout out for requesting this. You know who you are. Thank you so much. No one's told me about this tune until now. I haven't heard this tune before. It's honestly such a banger. I love dub and reggae. I grew up on those styles. And I had no idea Tyler, the Creator was making this kind of music. So I'm going to approach this tutorial from two angles. I'm going to show you how to play this on solo piano. But I'm also going to show you how to play bubble keys, which is like the integral kind of keyboard rhythmic style of dub and reggae music. And that's kind of also what's going on here as well. So I wanted to teach you that too. And then at the end, I'm going to show you the transition from sweet into this tune. So let's just get straight into the tune itself. So we have two chords here. First, we have an F minor triad, okay? Nice and simple. And then that goes down to an E flat major triad. Okay, that's pretty much how we're gonna start the left hand, right? Now, you can do two approaches to this left hand. You can play these chords and hold them like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's perfectly valid. Alternatively, you can turn them into arpeggios, where you go like this. Like that. Now, they have different effects to the music. The arpeggio makes it feel a little bit momentous, like there's movement in the piece, and that's, honestly, I go for the arpeggio because I like movement in my playing. So, that's the left hand. Get that down first, because once you add the right hand, as we're adding the melodies, you know, there might be some hand independent stuff that you need to work through. So let's take a look at how the melody starts. We have this here. Okay, now this comes in before the left hand drops, like right? So we have G, B flat, and C, and then the thumb drops onto that F as we come in with the left hand. Okay, so and then oh, that's beautiful, isn't it? Okay, E flat alternating between D, okay? So that is pretty much what's going on here. Now with that left hand, that's like such easy magic right there. It sounds so good. Why is that? Because this E flat is the root of this E flat chord, and it's going between a D, which is the 7, the major 7 of this chord. That's why it sounds so good, right? Now what I'm doing here is I'm actually arpeggiating this first melody here. Well, that's actually what we hear in the song. It's not arpeggiating, sorry, making it an octave, where you play it with the thumb and the pinky. Right? And then I'm playing this melody up here. Now you could turn that into an octave, but that's technically quite challenging. And it's not that necessary, you can just do it with fingers. So that's the start of the tune. Now, as we come in with the lyrics, we have pretty much a very similar thing. So it starts off in the same way, and we'll just use like one note here. So like this. And it goes like that, right? So the second melody, as we go to the E flat, is right, so F, E flat, D, and then G, F, G. Right, so slowly. So this repeats, right? So that's 2. This is 3. And then the last time it goes like this. Okay, so it's like it's like G, F, and the F is like a accentuated note, like, and then it goes flat, D, up, down again, right? D, C, B flat, okay? Okay, so that's pretty much like the main tune there. There is the next part kind of goes like this, where it's like, something like that, right? So the left hand is the same. Now what I'm doing with the right hand to start that off is I'm creating this shape here, which is an A flat major 7, right? Now that major 7th up here with the pinky, that's the melody. It's kind of like that, right? G, F, F, right? Midway through, like that. And then as we go to the E flat, what are we doing there? You've got your thumb on that G, your second finger on the B flat, and then the melody note at the top, starting on E flat, is descending, right? E flat, then it descends to D, then it descends to C, then it descends to B flat, right? Now that's kind of the homies with the backup vocals, legends. Honestly, I reckon that kind of embellishment just makes music so good. I love it. So, yeah. Yeah, so that's that. And there is, yeah, we've pretty much covered it. Oh, as we come back into this bit, there is actually, the ladies come in with the backing vocals in kind of the next bit. So what we want to do to create that effect is we can do this, where we start with Tyler's melody down here, and then see that? That's like a call and response effect, and that's what we get in the tune, right? Between the Tyler and the backup singers, right? Right, so that might require a little bit of practice, but really you're actually just playing the same thing. You just shift your hand up an octave. Yeah, so that's pretty much the main tune. Now, then it changes kind of like 3/4 of the way through to something like this. So the progression changes a little bit. So we start on the F minor 7, still. Notice I'm changing the left hand a little bit. I'm using what's called a root 5 octave 5 arpeggio. We're playing the root, the 5, the octave, and the 5. And then it goes to a G7, okay? Notice in my right hand, I've got a B diminished, B, D, and F. And then the next chord it goes to C major 7. Awesome. You've got a C, root, G, the 5, B, the major 7, and then you've got E, the 3rd. That's kind of the chord there. Yeah, that's kind of the chord there. Now the melody. It's kind of like that here. Okay, so we've got that A flat major 7 shape again. Right, G, F, F, and then you create this interesting shape. What is that? That's kind of weird, but it's cool. It's actually not that complicated. This is just an augmented sound. So this is a G major regular, and what we're doing is we're raising that 5th a half step. And that's beautiful voice leading, because where does that want to go? That goes up here, and wants to resolve here. See that? That's called voice leading, where one voice kind of wants to go somewhere and we can resolve the harmony through that. Beautiful. So that's what's going on here. I thought you wanted to dance. Yeah, so that's that last section, and then it kind of rides out on that. Okay, as promised, I was going to teach you some bubble keys, because this is like, honestly, this is such a great way to play the keyboard, and you could use this to just jam along to the tune, and I recommend that you do, because this is the kind of stuff that gets you hired for gigs, honestly. This style of music is so common. I'm telling you now, I actually just played a music festival in my town on Saturday, a couple of days ago, and I got to see literally one of my country's most legendary reggae bands called Catch a Fire, and I was watching the keyboard player. He was just doing this bubble keys the whole time. He was not doing anything tricky. And so there's this misconception that you need to be super pro. I mean, you do need to be pretty good to be playing at that level on that kind of stage. But like, this guy was just playing bubble keys. Okay, so what's bubble keys? We take the two chords. So the first chord is this F minor 7 chord. Okay, so it's like, we had this F minor originally, right? So now the left hand is just going to play the root note. Okay, just an F. And the right hand is actually going to play an A flat major triad, like this. A flat, C, and E flat. You put them together, you get an F minor 7. Right? That's the first chord. And then the second chord is an E flat major 7. Again, we started with that E flat, but now we're adding the D for that major 7. And the left hand is just going to play that root. Okay? So that's all we're doing in terms of the chords. Now what this bubble keys is, it's actually a rhythmic approach to playing chords, which goes like this. So it's got a lot of feel to it, it's got a lot of groove to it, it just feels so good, you know. And so how do we create this approach? So the main thing is we're doing an interplay between the two hands, such that they're not playing together, they're almost dancing around each other, if that makes sense. So, so you got to map them onto each other, if that makes sense. Like, don't try to understand this to a grid. Although I can explain it. Well, I can explain it in terms of upbeats and downbeats. So basically, a bar is constructed with downbeats and upbeats. 1 and 3 are the downbeats. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? It's where the beat is grounding itself back down, right? Now, the polarity between that is the 2 and the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It goes back up before falling back down. That's the polarity of how rhythm works, right? Rhythm works because you have that kind of magnetic polarity between the upbeat and the downbeat, right? That's what makes rhythm. That's what makes pocket and groove. By the way, I talk about this in my free online course, Unlock the Keyboard. You can check that out for free. There's a link below. I have a whole video on talking about this topic. So it's basically 1, 2. To create this rhythmic effect, the right hand is playing on the upbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Notice how it feels like it's rising up, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So, what we can do here now that you've got that playing on the 2, now you can kind of add the left hand. We're kind of doing 2 little hits. You don't want to play this heavy. You want to play kind of light notes. It's kind of like doing 2, and it's kind of dropping naturally. Now, I'm sometimes landing this next note here with the thumb as a ghost note. A ghost note means that it's quite light, you can't quite hear it very clearly, but that's the idea. It's almost like implied. You do kind of play it, but it doesn't stand out. That's a ghost note, right? You can kind of hear it, right? It's not that necessary, but it does add something. Now, what happens here in the chords of this tune, actually, it goes from an E flat major 7. That top note descends and turns it into an E flat 7. dominant, right? Yeah, so that's an explanation of the bubble keys. I really hope that you can get it through this tutorial. And yeah, honestly, jam along with the song. It will make you feel so good. You want to feel good on the keyboard because the better you sound and the better you feel on the keyboard, the more invested you're going to be in actually training and developing your skills and practicing the basics and getting really good. And you can take that far. Honestly, you can play on stages. Literally, I played on that stage with a artist named Ollie Crooks. He's one of my guys that I session for. I love playing for Ollie Crooks, and that's like the biggest audience I've played for. It was like 1,000 people. Honestly, it was great. But yeah, that's bubble keys. So you can also apply that to the second bit where it's like. Right, it's that new progression, that F minor, G7, C major 7. So, right, this time I've got like that 1 and the 5 in the left hand. Same thing, I'm just alternating between the two. Okay, I'll leave that kind of bit there. Now, just for if you want to know how to transition between sweet into this, let's cover that progression. So that goes like this. Okay, what's going on there? So, first let's start with that melody there. That's already the melody we've established in the tune, right? Now the left hand is going to start with an A minor 7, right? Far out, I look so weird doing that, sorry. So A minor 7, you're going to play it twice. Once, twice. Now that's going to transition to a D dominant 7. Okay, now this is quite easy because you've got your pinky on an A and your middle finger on a C, and these top fingers are just transitioning here. Okay, now then that transitions to a G major 7, and that's quite easy because these two fingers, these top two fingers are staying here, and the bottom two fingers are moving down, okay? So this is what's called a 2-5-1, but you invert the 5 so that it's natural for the fingers to move. Okay, that's the power of inversions. It's like one of my mentors always said, like, help is only a half step away. Literally, look at this. That note is moving to that note. Help is only a half step away. And then it's crazy. Like, you can find these inversions which are so natural on the fingers, and that's a 2-5-1. Anyway, sorry, you might not want to know much theory. Let me just continue with the tutorial. Once, twice, once, twice. Then the melody here in the right hand goes G, E, C, right? That's a C major triad. Goes down that, and then it jumps up to this F sharp as we go to that G major 7. And then this G major 7 kind of goes here. Now that's crazy because you've got your pinky on a G and your middle finger on the B, and they're going to stay there. Top notes are going to move to here, right? So what we have. And then we have this. Okay, so then it transitions first to this D flat minor 7 flat 5 chord, okay? D flat, E, G, and B. And then that's going to go up to an F sharp dominant chord. And then that's going to go down to a B. It says C flat. That's so dumb. It's meant to be, that's B major, sorry. I hate that it's also known as a C flat. That just, yeah. Yeah. So, and I'm arpeggiating that B kind of up, okay? Now the melody here, you've got G. By the way, it's that which is G, and then B, A, and then you're resolving to a B, C sharp, D sharp, and F sharp. Okay. Okay, that's the end of the tutorial. I hope that this was helpful. Please like the video, comment, and subscribe. It helps these tutorials reach more people, helps me grow this channel. And if you want access to a free online course, you can join below. It's honestly free. I want to help you get better at the keyboard. And yeah, there's a community as well. Help me to bring it to life because I'm struggling, honestly. But we'll get there. I'm stoked. I've got lots on the cards, so stay tuned. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye.